inverted, narcissistic, and most importantly, completely pointless. Come waste an hour of your week with The Starting Block, Friday nights Australian time at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. Get in touch with us on Twitter at The Starting Block, no K at the end. Also, subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or iTunes by searching for The Starting Block, all one word, or on Podbean at startingblock.podbean.com. Join the blockheads, tuning in their millions, right around the world.
You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. This is Wokest. We didn't realise, but somehow our rundown is nothing but woke shit. We've got pride, we've got cooling off periods, we've got TikToks, all that and much more here on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain, thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, well, we're starting block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who sold all his crypto to make sure he can go out and panic buy as much lettuce as possible. My co-captain, Damo, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Blockheads, millions around the world. Yep, no lettuce. Can't get it. It's banned. Lettuce for us is like heroin now. You basically have to go to like a car park and meet an Italian gentleman, Greeno, who meets you in one of those. Remember those old Toyota family vans? Mm-hmm. You know, the Tarago, I think it was.
Might have been a Tarago, yeah.
And
it was creepy, very unfashionable.
Yes, but it could cart around like a family of Samoans, for example, like for 10, 20, 30 years, Green.
Yeah,
just never stop running. So you
never serviced either, those Samoan Toyota Pajeros, like whatever they may have been.
Well, they're Toyotas.
They found a way. They got mouths to feed, Damo.
Driving them is servicing the Toyota, Greeno. That's how you service the Toyota. Just keep the engine running, you know.
Yeah.
And you go into this underground car park where there's one light that's just flickering in the middle of the night, and he slides open the side, and there you have it, boxes and boxes of fucking hot black market lettuce, Greeno.
Black market lettuce, exactly. I was intrigued to see the people stockpiling the lettuce.
Yeah.
Like
toilet paper. It's the new toilet paper.
Exactly, it's the new toilet paper. Don't know how well that worked with it being a perishable, but nonetheless, you know, you got to fucking get your lettuce while you can.
I know, brings up an interesting question, Greeno. I don't think you can freeze a lettuce. I know you can. Don't get me wrong. Like technically you can, but you know, do you reckon a lettuce would just be ruined if you froze it and then tried to defrost? How would you defrost a head of lettuce?
People don't care, mate. They just sit there and go, "Hang on, mate. There's no lettuce in the stores. Better fucking buy 50 of them just to be safe."
Yeah.
We'll freeze them. We'll put them in like vacuum sealed packs. It'll be good. We'll be fine with the lettuce amongst it.
You know what we'll do? We'll take the empty toilet paper bags. You know, the big fucking 48 roll ones that have the little handle. We'll empty the toilet rolls out into our bunker, and then we'll go back to the shop and we'll take that bag and then fill it up with lettuce, Greeno.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Stroll through. Yeah, you just want to hope it's not on a per kilo though at the moment. That would
very good point. Now, you're a man who has a veggie garden, and I believe you used to harvest your own lettuce. You could have been sitting on a gold mine, sir, if you kept that bad boy up.
That's very true. Could have started an empire, Greeno.
Could have.
The current
100%.
price of lettuce going the way it is. Lettuce in this country is more expensive than American petroleum, so stop fucking moaning about it, America.
Fucking petrol.
Yeah, exactly.
$45 for a lettuce.
We can't get a fucking salad, let alone drive to the fucking place to buy it. They don't have it.
Quick story time.
I like stories about pinatas.
Just reminding me of something. So it's the wife's birthday over the weekend. So she dumped on me.
Happy birthday, Lady Green.
Pretty late last night. Like, oh, by the way, everyone's coming over Saturday.
Oh, right.
I'm like, okay, well, that's great. Like, you know, bit of food prep. Like, if you can give me a heads up, like, I can whip up a meal for 12.
Hot dogs.
I'm like, how many people are coming? She's like, 12, 13, 14 maybe. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty big fucking group of people to try and cater for and with like a day and a half's notice.
May I say, Greeno, may I say it, at that short of a notice, it would be perfectly reasonable for you to just dish out some fucking party pies and party sausage rolls on half an hour cook time, and maybe some little cocktail frankfurts that'll do the trick as well, and then go, there you go, fucking happy days, nice Gary.
Well, here's the thing. So, because my wife's a twin, so her and her sister, I said, look, just tell me what you guys want, and I'll cook it. Like, just let me know, and that's what I'll cook. And they're like, oh, we want to keep it simple. How does a barbecue sound? And I'm like, well, that's great, but we can't fucking buy lettuce anywhere. So we're just going to be eating nothing but like meat, and then there's going to be no salad.
Well, hang on. It is a barbecue. Like, fuck lettuce ultimately at a barbecue. Like, seriously, no one's going to a barbecue. Yeah, but you have a fucking potato salad or a pasta salad, Greeno. You don't need lettuce. The barbecue is all about the meat. Let's not turn the barbecue into fucking lettuce leaf discussions.
What I'm saying is there's an issue with lettuce. There's an issue with greenery.
There is. You want colour and life at your barbecue. That's the problem. You're showing balance
with all the greasy shit I'm going to be feeding people. So
I'm the opposite. I just serve you up a fucking plate of just greasy meat. And, you know, deep fried fries. And there you go.
Salad anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's offensive.
I think the Lady Boogs once like served a salad with this injected sauce meat you've been basting for 14 hours. Yeah. And I just looked at the salad and I'm like, I'm not putting that anywhere near my mouth. Like, I'm just going to eat as much meat until my body cannot take any more.
Exactly.
I'm not going to waste a salad. Fuck, man.
Fuck the salad.
Fuck the salad. So I've gone the pasta instead tomorrow. I'm whipping up kind of like a fennel It's like a fennel and Italian sausage.
Well, fennel's close to lettuce, isn't it not? Like it's in the
like
lettuce family, isn't it?
It's dried fennel, not fresh fennel. So we're all good there.
Right.
No greenery inside on this bag.
Where do you stand on the cabbage question? Because you remember, Greeno, a couple of weeks ago, a story came out
KFC.
here. KFC here. Now, there was a lot of pushback I noticed from our American brothers and sisters on social media, Greeno, who were saying that this story has to be fake because KFC doesn't sell burgers, but they do here. Yeah, so I didn't realize that they didn't there. I thought, this is just what KFC sells, but apparently they don't sell burgers in the States. I was like,
they weren't allowed in the States because once again, greenery. You can't have any of that.
Have any greenery. So KFC with the price of lettuce is now the mighty world-beating KFC, Greeno, is now retreating into its foxhole. And they're now going to suggest that they're going to put cabbage on the burgers instead of lettuce because of the price of lettuce. You can't get any. You can't get it in the volume, Greeno. But we've got plenty of cabbage. Like, it's happy days for the cabbage farmers.
Cabbage people. Yeah.
But good luck to them. Nice, Gary.
No. They're going to bed like crying into their
we'll
pillows.
Step in. We'll be lettuce for a month. I don't care.
Everyone's pissing on the cabbage, going, "No, fuck off! I'm not having cabbage on my burger. Like, just give me the deep fried shit instead." Yeah. So everyone's shitting on the cabbage. Go, no, give that away from my burger. Hold the cabbage.
Hold the cabbage.
Lettuce. Hold the cabbage. Don't worry about it. So the cabbage people are thinking they're about to make some money. Everyone's like, "Nah, fuck you and your cabbage."
Fuck you and your cabbage. I mean, if you cut cabbage just the right way and slice it thinly enough, you wouldn't tell the difference if you were a fucking animal hoeing into a burger and taking it in 2 bites, you know, like you wouldn't notice that there was fucking cabbage on there. It's just a bit of texture and difference.
Are we talking white cabbage or are we talking wombok?
I don't know if we should get into specifics about fast food, really. You know, I'm just thinking get the cheap, dirty cabbage that you would get, you know, from the fucking markets in boxes. Just bring it in, chop it up. They won't know the fucking difference. Send it out.
Here's the thing, though. There's also a wombok shortage.
What the fuck is wombok, man?
Wombok is a Chinese cabbage. I whipped up some dim sims last week, all right? And I needed wombok. Right. So I went to 3 different supermarkets to try and get some wombok. Not a fucking wombok in sight.
Okay.
They end up going to like this dodgy Asian place, and
So you've been out of Western Sydney too long. You want some? I don't even know what it is, Greeno, and I'd have it in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I know exactly where to go. I know exactly where to go, and the guy who runs it, and I'll go, "How you going?" And I'll go, "Oh, good. What do you need?" You know, this fucking shit, whatever this is. Yeah, no problem. You know.
Here's the thing with my local one, though. They had the wombok, but they didn't have a very basic herb that I needed, like rosemary.
Okay.
I know it was dill.
You're not there for the fundamentals.
It was dill. I rock up and I'm like, wombok? Like, fucking we got 400 womboks. Excellent.
Greeno, dill, like, rosemary. These are fucking European spices. We're not interested in them.
No, mate, no dill here. That doesn't fucking help me because I need dill for the next night's dinner. We got off topic. No, actually, we're on topic because we're talking Pride Day, man. We're talking burgers.
Burgers.
I tell you what KFC doesn't do.
Yep.
They may not have lettuce, they may have cabbage, but they don't have any pride, Damo.
They don't have any pride.
Because Burger King have gone all out.
In other words, they should be ashamed of themselves if they don't have.
100% bigots, mate. Bigots down there at KFC. Exactly. I say we like fur coats. We pour pig's blood or red paint over
the cabbage. In protest.
Because what they're not doing is they're not providing burgers that come with 2 tops or 2 bottoms to decide what kind of guy are you, a bottom or a top guy. Now, I don't know what to make of this. It's inspirational, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of this because this is obviously in celebration of Pride Month. We've got a whole Pride segment to kick off the show. Yeah. Now, what confuses me here, how is this not offensive? Like the sexual positions of
what do they refer? So read it because Greeno, remember we do have a podcast audience. So what does it actually say?
I literally just read it out, mate. I said Burger King Pride Whoppers come with 2 tops or 2 bottoms. Are you a 2 bottoms kind of guy or a 2 tops kind of guy? Now firstly,
what do they mean by that exactly? Because I'm not sure. Okay.
I think it's sexual position preference. Are you on top guy? Are you a bottom guy? Do you like to rotate? And once again, here's a crazy notion. Maybe you just have a regular burger for people who don't see themselves as a top or a bottom.
Yeah, you could probably still get the normal burger. I imagine. I don't know if they're forcing 2 tops. No.
Tops or bottoms? It's like gender identification. You gotta walk in.
Pick
like,
one.
Which one do you like? You're like top or bottom? And you're like, depends. If I had a big day, I'm a bottom guy, but if I've got a bit of energy, maybe I'll jump on top. You just never know.
It's a little bit worrying, Greeno, that I would be asked to my preference, like up front when I'm just trying to buy some lunch.
Imagine that drive-through combo, like having to get all deep and philosophical for 25 minutes with the 14-year-old earning minimum wage.
Out there?
What would you like? I just want a Whopper. Which one do you want? You want top or the bottom? I want the Whopper. Yeah, but are you a top guy or a bottom guy? What do you mean?
Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
it's a sexual
I would probably
thing,
go for two tops, I think, if it would be.
You go two tops?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, once again, if it's a boy-girl situation,
choice.
if it's a boy-girl situation, then maybe I'd go I go bottom because I'm lazy. But then if it's a boy-boy situation, then maybe I'm thinking I want to be on top because I feel like that you still want to be the alpha male in that situation.
Oh, okay.
It could be. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
we're actually.
Conversations I'm going to have with the 14-year-old earning minimum wage dude, and I feel uncomfortable. I need to discuss it.
I feel uncomfortable too because when I asked, I was asking specifically in terms of like sandwich dynamics. So I'm thinking, like the two tops, you can toast them up a little bit, and the bottom top will soak up a lot of that fucking meat juice, and it's going to be a little bit more tender on the bottom.
No sesame seeds either.
I don't mind the sesame seeds, No, I don't mind.
The bottoms though is sesame seedless.
Well, I think having a bottom on the top is just a little too thin for the top of a burger. You want that because remember your claws are going to hang in there and fucking latch onto it. Your fingers are going to go right through that little fucking sucker into the salads and stuff. That's no good.
We're putting the pride to one side for a moment. If we're talking just burger dynamics, I'm actually on
far
the
more important. Yeah.
I'll go on the bottoms and hear me out, right? If I'm buying a hamburger roll, I like those thin ones, not the big fluffy ones that there's too much bread there because I want to taste the burger.
Right.
I just want like maybe a centimeter of bread.
Yep.
It's toasted, and that's enough for me to grip on and get a nice little juicy burger in the middle.
You got to get a good grip on the bottoms if you're
you still get a good grip, but at the same time, it's toasted, so you're all good. So I actually prefer a thinner bun layer. I feel like the two tops are going to be a bit too thick, too much bread for my liking. I need more meat and cabbage to suffice for my Whopper.
Well, nice Gary on that one, Greeno, because. Wouldn't you know it? We've just solved. I don't know anything about pride. You don't know anything about a sandwich, clearly. And we've just solved the whole problem of, is too much dough or not enough, and how would you rearrange a sandwich? It seems after this analysis, Greeno, that it's probably the best strategy. Disagree with me at any point. Jump in if you feel necessary. It might be the best thing to put the bottom on the bottom and the top on the top after all is said and done.
Hence, the general overall dynamics of a fucking bun for the better part of 400 years.
Yeah, could be onto something.
Minister of Fun Kimmy in the chat saying, Greeno, bottom confirmed. Well, I said, Kimmy, it depends.
It depends on the situation.
Depends on energy levels. Like, once again, boy, girl, different story. Don't mind being a bottom then because, I don't mind that power dynamic of a lady on top. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel a guy situation, I may feel more uncomfortable in that way. So I think I'd probably be a top guy at that situation.
And me personally, I'm really just thinking about the sandwich.
The sandwich, exactly.
I really have no feeling feel either way on the sexual connotation, not even considering. I'm still thinking about whether it be better to have the bottom on the top or the top of the bottom. So this was sent through. Yeah, this was sent through. We need to see it sight unseen, so neither you...
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
Yep, our number one fan. What do we have? Our power rankings.
The power rankings, 2018, I think it was.
2018, I think it was. Number one, Kimmy, sent through this clip. And it's like, boys, you need to do this. I'm like, sorry, no show this week. So this is bullshit. Yeah. You got to do this clip.
It's all your fault, that, by the way. Missing a show.
That is mine.
Very unprofessional, of course.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, on the operating table last week, mate. Been busy.
Been busy on the operating table. Why don't you say that in pre-show, Greeno?
Because nothing funny about that.
Okay.
So, Kimmy said the pride clip. So she's like, you don't look at it. You can't watch it. You got to just sight unseen, go nuts. I don't want you to discuss it on the show. So now we haven't seen it. We kind of put it to the side for 1 week, mainly because we forgot about it until I put in the rundown yesterday.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I'm not going to look at it now because we're already there. Let's have a look.
Okay. What is it though?
I don't know. I've seen the link.
Yeah, I know. I've got the link.
Right.
I'm just all right.
We'll find out. How do we know? We haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well, let's just have a quick look. Okay, it's posted by Postmates. If you can't stand the kitchen, get out of the kitchen, need help. I don't know who that is. It's also got Rob Anderson, Greeno, who's #1 fart throb and bottom friendly, creator of the Gay Science series. And
let's fucking hold on 1 second. Did that guy label himself as the fart throb?
Fart throb and bottom friendly, yes.
Well,
so he would have the two bottoms.
Yeah. The Cry Burger, correct?
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense. It really does. So that's Smart Throb and Dr. Evan Goldstein, Greeno, who is the founder and CEO of Bespoke Surgical. Dr. Goldstein. Mm-hmm. And Bespoke Surgical is elite surgical and sexual wellness practice for today's male. Interesting. So that's how we get here, I'm guessing. So let's have a look at what's going on.
What are you eating, Miss Pride? Well, if you're a top, it seems like you can eat whatever you want. But if you're a bottom, you're expected to starve? Not this Pride. Introducing the bottom-friendly menu from Postmates. We teamed up with Dr. Evan Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical to bring you a menu of bottom-friendly...
What's going on?
Yeah, I think we need to go back to the start. I feel like I blacked out a little bit there because I'm confused. Can we go back to the start? Because I feel like I need to start taking notes. Hang on, give me a minute. Let me get my pad and pen.
Okay.
All right.
So now this is worth the discussion.
We need to quickly cover this for our podcast listeners. Yeah. So the clip opens with an eggplant in bondage gear, laying next to a taco. Okay. All right. Cool.
The taco does not have any sauce or sour cream or cheese on it. It's worth noting.
Yeah, it's a pretty piss weak taco. However, it does have lettuce, sir.
Does have lettuce, which you can't get in this country. Yeah,
there in Australia. That's right.
No cabbage in this sexual taco, Greeno.
No. Is this obviously the taco is a euphemism for females? I'm guessing in this one, and the eggplant's the dick.
Because they're crunchy and tasty, Greeno?
Well, no, I think it's the emoji thing because the eggplant normally resembles a dick and the taco normally resembles a vagina for emoji talk. I'm confused why the taco is just normal taco and the eggplant is wearing bondage. If it's representing a penis, it's like, putting some chains and whatnot around the member.
Kind of looks like gun belts, Greeno, around the eggplant. Could be gun belts. Could be a cowboy on our hands here.
Could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's go back to the start. Let's see if we can work this out.
A cowboy who lost his chaps is meeting a taco on the picnic blanket.
It is chapless. It is arseless. Yep, arseless chaps right there.
Yeah, he lost the rest of them because when the horse ran off, you see, Greeno took his arms and his pants off.
For our podcast listeners, the eggplant is lacking flesh where the arched cheeks would normally be.
Correct.
On said eggplant. Once again, the eggplant's meant to represent a penis, and a penis doesn't have an ass. But nonetheless, let's not go into specifics. Let's not overanalyze this, if we shall.
Well, we should. If we're not going to overanalyze it, I mean, we should probably start again, Greeno, and do the short version. Yeah. Right.
If you're a top, it seems like you can eat whatever you want. But if you're a bottom, you're expected to starve?
I still really don't know what they're referring to, in all honesty.
Have I missed the point of a top and a bottom? Is this suddenly a domination thing?
I don't know. I promise you, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know really what. Is it an act? They're referring to an act, or I don't know what they're really talking about. Because
tops can apparently whatever they want, bottoms can't. I'm confused. Someone's gonna have to explain that to me. But anyway, let's plug away.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if we don't know what they're talking about, it's kind of like there's a joke and we're not in on it. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I feel like we're at a party where everyone's laughing at an in joke and we're the only two. They've walked out and like, oh fuck, man, did I miss something at the start of the party? I feel like this is what's happening.
You just had to be there, man.
I think so.
Not this Pride. Introducing the bottom-friendly menu from Postmates.
Okay, what's a Postmate? Is this an American thing?
A what now? A Postmate, is it?
Yeah, well, that's what they said. The bottom-friendly menu by Postmate. What's a Postmate?
I don't know.
All right, let's keep going. Maybe it'll answer itself as the clip goes on.
We teamed up with Dr. Evan.
Victor Von Shroom's in the chat. I'm sure he'll know something, like, you know, because he comes across weird shit on the internet on the frequent, Greeno. So I'm sure Victor will know something about this.
Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical to bring you a menu of bottom-friendly foods backed by science.
Okay, now I don't know what bottom-friendly is, though.
Neither do I, and I don't understand what science has to do with it.
Well, can science explain it? Then I'm curious about that. But how now? Is it a happy meal?
I got it. It's food you can only eat for 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Science.
Minister of Fun in the chat saying they deliver shit to you. So, okay, it's like Uber Eats, Greeno. This
like
place.
Uber Eats, but bottom friendly Uber Eats. Okay.
So do they fuck you when they show up and deliver you the head sandwich with the 2 bottoms? Is that how?
But the Uber Eats don't make the food. The Uber Eats just deliver food made by other providers. Yeah.
Right. But is this like an extra service that they're offering during the festivities, Greeno?
Keep going. Pride Month.
Okay.
Insoluble fiber won't help you feel cute, so avoid things like whole grains, wheat bran, cauliflower, potatoes, legumes. Hold up.
Why can't they have grains and stuff?
I don't know. I think we just need to roll with it, and we'll ask questions at the end. I feel like I'm a teacher now. Going, look, Dama, if you don't mind, let's just leave all the questions for the end.
Too many questions. I can't save them all till the end. You have to understand.
No. Write them down. You can put your hand
up. We roll for 2
so.
seconds. There's more questions.
This is not a class for that. This is the whole class. Sir.
This is interesting here, Greeno. Diving into the baked beans. What do you think that represents, Greeno? I'm just going to throw that up there for you.
I don't want to know.
And the quote is, are you just fully diving into those beans, Greeno?
Nice, and once again, why is now the apple wearing bondage?
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's in bondage here.
Okay.
The problem with these foods is they don't dissolve in water, which could cause a traffic jam in your digestive system. Making
you know what else can cause a traffic jam is sticking things up in there, Greeno.
Well, I think this is maybe where this clip is going. It's
I see, a little sex advice, Greeno.
A bit of friendly food if you're in a bit of butt play.
How to keep yourself fresh back there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so it's a fucking social service.
This is good. I like it.
Educational. Yeah.
Of your evening. Speaking of messy, it's a good idea to avoid dairy.
I cannot.
Oh, now the start makes sense because they're like, if you're a top, you can eat whatever you want, but if you're a bottom, you got to be careful. So now that makes sense. It's now talking about what way to make sure that, say, crevices and targets are friendly for the person that might be going there.
Right. Okay.
It's all lactose right now. Look at her.
If you're going to eat something insoluble, give your body about 24 hours to process all of it.
All right. So if you're gonna get some butt sex, make sure your insolubles outside 24 hours.
And the image there, Greeno, the little the orange sun, the citrus sun over the 2 peaches, Greeno, obviously, you know, resembling, I imagine, a very clear sunny day over a camel's hump. That's what they're showing there. You know, lovely stuff. What's the fish got to do with anything?
Well, I think the fish is probably going to be on the yes list of things that are good for some butt play.
Okay.
The
oils.
The oils will all clean that shit right out. No pun intended.
Oils, yeah.
The key to having some good, clean fun. These all digest easily. And
I don't know how clean it is if you've got to eat all these fucking random foods to make sure shit's all right.
Yeah, well.
While feeding your good gut bacteria, which makes sushi a great bottom-friendly option. There's no right or wrong way to bottom, but if you're planning on getting peachy this Pride, the bottom-friendly menu on Postmates.
I don't know if it were me, maybe I'm wrong, Greeno, but I would kind of feel insulted by a company giving me sex tips. You know, like okay.
Well, here's also the thing, right? Like you know, both yourself and I, as far as I'm aware, heterosexual males. But if I'm thinking, if I was in a homosexual relationship, I think I'd want to rotate the tops and bottoms, right? Like surely they'd be kind of like, Johnny's on top tonight, Greeno's on top to bottom. Like,
you reckon? Yeah.
You'd mix it up, like, because then I feel like Johnny's missing out on some of the fun if he wants to be a bottom, and Greeno wants to be top. Like, we'll mix it up. But then suddenly we both got to eat legumes for fucking 3 days beforehand, and it seems like a lot of effort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if one person's eating legumes, though, then surely it must be easier if you're both doing it at the same time. as opposed to having one person frying steak.
And can you imagine the presumptuousness of the situation of like a gay couple sitting around a table and one person smashing down pizza, another person smashing down legumes? Is like, well, we know what's happening in about 24 hours.
Right. We would just know who's going to be,
Who's going to be, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like you have to pre-plan it, and then suddenly someone's cooking 2 different meals. Someone might be insulted going, I want a pizza. And like, well, we know what we want to do tomorrow night. Well, we can't do that. You got to get the legumes up.
What if it's more like what you're good at? So, in a cricket team, you'll have batsmen and you'll have bowlers. So what if someone's just very good at being a batsman and the other one's just better at being a bowler, Greeno? Who's better at taking it or giving it, So maybe it's just maybe they'd rather be the other one, but they just don't have the necessary skills to pull it off, Greeno. So they have to resort to being the unfortunate thing that they're good at,
To be fair, I've been very incompetent in the boudoir for the better part of 20 years. Yeah. And, you still got to have a crack.
You have a go. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad. You still got to have a crack.
You make it up as you go along, really.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about ability. It's about effort, champ. You just got to fucking keep on going.
You just got to nut up and get in there.
Exactly.
Walk it off.
You found this. Thanks for that, Kimmy. You found this demo. I didn't realise that Pride Month suddenly had kind of racial undertones. I wasn't aware.
I didn't realise. Yeah, great.
I didn't get the memo. Well, until you sent it to me.
Well, this is the memo. So here it is. Yeah. What is Greeno? I just want to ask you. Do you ever think to yourself, we could be a little more tolerant? We could be a little more accepting and a little more understanding of privilege and whatnot, Greeno? I do.
Every minute of every day.
Good. I'm glad we sorted that out because I agree with you. So I was very interested. I was drawn to this. So what is, Greeno, white gay privilege?
You have to explain it to me.
Well, I'm going to let this article explain it to us because I don't know yet either. I'm ignorant, Greeno. This fact is well known by people in the LGBTQ plus community.
This is why we don't know heterosexual males. We're ignorant.
Yeah, we're so stupid we don't understand these things. Who experience this kind of hostility based on their gender and or their sexuality. However, for those whose identities intersect multiple marginalized groups, Greeno, there are more things to consider.
Like Ewoks.
Well, I no, because that's not fair because they're the natives on their planet. The humans
doesn't mean they're not marginalised, sir.
Well, I guess the moment that everybody turned up with their lasers and their ships and stuff, they instantly became marginalised, didn't they? Because what did the Ewoks have, like spears and shit?
100%. Skywalker rocks up, fucking claims it's Terra Nullius, and fucking just shit hits the fan. 200 years.
You reckon Skywalker got there first and planted his flag down? No, the Empire got there first, Greeno. Skywalker was there to fuck
depends what you're reading the wrong history books, mate.
See. Skywalker was like actually a terrorist in there.
Yeah.
He was setting shit on fire. He was throwing grenades into food stores, and then the Empire showed up, and then that's when they all started writing and said, "Oh, look, the Empire's here, fucking shit up."
Empire's here. Yeah.
I tend to agree with you, Greeno. I tend to agree with you. How do we know Darth Vader was the bad guy? We don't. It's just the way history was written.
History books, mate. Fucking biased.
Remember, it was a long time ago.
You know why? Yeah. You know why? Darth Vader was black.
Yeah.
That's why.
Nice, Gary.
So true. It's so true. Well, so you're going to be very interested in this, Greeno. However, for people whose identities intersect multiple marginalized groups, there are more things to consider. For LGBTQ plus people of color, racism also. I don't know, extra, more.
Something else they make up later.
Other people, plus. It's like +1 on an invitation for a dinner party.
Yeah. Like
non-specific.
All them, and we'll let you know.
It's a guest, okay? So it's the LGBTQ plus guests, Greeno.
Okay.
Racism also impacts how they are perceived and treated by wider society. So people from the LGBTQ plus, you have to kind of write out the whole thing every time. It's almost like, how if you were writing something, Greeno, you would say the first time you would say like Federal Bureau of Investigation, but after that you would refer to it as FBI.
FBI, yeah, spot on.
Yeah, because you iron it out the first time so everyone knows what you're referring to.
You make sure you put it in a bracket after the first time you do the whole long word. Yeah. I do that with all my reports because everything I write's an acronym.
Exactly.
You do that, you put a little comma around it, and everyone's a winner. And from here on in, FBI.
That's what we're talking about. But it's almost like you need to do that to the acronym here in this case, because it's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A lot.
Yeah, it's not like I like my acronyms kind of 3 or less, you know.
I like my acronyms where it doesn't actually contain syllables.
Yeah.
An acronym should not have more than one syllable.
Or symbols in full stop, Greeno. This acronym has a symbol. Now I have to hit shift and fucking look for it
shit and a plus
in the numbers, and it's like, I don't know where this is, you know.
Or I got to numlock it. And
yeah,
it's
so frustrating.
It's like
it's really hard to be tolerant. It's so hard to be tolerant, Greeno. Having to look for that plus every single time.
I forgot about the shift. The shift. If you don't have the keypad, you're fucked.
Sometimes your shift doesn't really work properly either if you use it too much.
And then you're going above the equal symbol.
Yeah.
Then your timing's off, and then you accidentally have got to an equals. Then you got to hit a backspace to go back, and then you're like, this is too many. Like FBI is 3 letters. This is too many letters. Can we cut out some letters?
I agree, Greeno. How about we just go back to like LGB, and it's like, sorry, you know, the rest of you can make up your own. If you don't like that acronym, you can go out and start your own acronym, Greeno.
100%, like a reverse merger, if you will. You're like, look, you know, this business has got
to reverse merger.
We need to like separate kind of midstream and create our own little individual acronyms.
I think that's referred to as undocking, Greeno.
There we go. Yeah. Or a bottom, if you will.
Debottoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottoming out.
Yeah. Sorry, you can continue.
I don't know where we were.
I don't know. We're talking about
there are more things to consider for LGBTQ plus people of colour, Greeno. Racism also impacts how they are perceived and treated by wider society. So people from the LGBTQ plus community who do not have to also worry about racism, Greeno, they possess white gay privilege. So nice, Gary! So, you know, it's about Pride Month, Greeno, not White Pride Month. I think that's the main takeaway.
Yeah, cool. Well, you know, let's make sure we're covering all bases.
Yeah.
Right, month. We're going to end the segment with a bit of rebel pride, if we will. Now, this happened in the Australian media throughout the course of the week. Now, no one in Australia, I don't know if the American listeners like Rebel Wilson. She's in a bunch of movies over there in the US.
Do they know who she is? I don't know.
No one in Australia actually likes Rebel Wilson.
I don't even really know who she is.
Care about Rebel Wilson. The only nice Gary I'll give to Rebel Wilson is she sued a tabloid for making up some story about her, won a defamation suit against them. It was all this massive story, and then she ended up losing the appeal.
Oh, right. Because, okay, right. Okay.
Something happened. Anyway, so this happened this week. Turns out she's in a relationship with a lady. She hasn't come out, but the reporters, the hacks, have decided, hey, look, turns out we know about this now. Fuck it, let's just write it. Like, let's just out her, and it'll be fine. Mate, let's give her a bit of courtesy. Let's give her a day's notice. See if she's got a comment. So I think it was the Sydney Morning Herald, I believe. There it is. Called Rebel up and like, hey, Sunday we need to sell some papers. We're gonna say, hey, you're in a relationship with this lady. Do you have any comment? You got 2 days to go tell your family, pretty much. If you don't want them to find out, like just in the papers.
I mean, you know, but it's so strange because normally these are the places that talk the most about, you know, hey, Pride Month, you know, we love you and stuff, and it's like. Well, and now what do you do? Like you're forcibly, you know, I don't know. It's such a strange,
before we go
pretty
to a break,
awful thing to do to someone.
I guarantee this is what happened, right?
You reckon it's a setup, don't you? You reckon it's a total setup?
No. I swear this is what happened.
Okay.
They're going to a round table like, hey, guys, it's Pride Month. I want you to go out. I want you to get your stories. And someone's come back and is like, hey, man, fucking, I got a story for you. Rebel Wilson with a chick. Fucking Pride Month. Let's put that story out there.
Right.
I was Rebel gay, is she? Does anyone know? Nah, doesn't matter. We'll just give the heads up. We'll be fine. I guarantee that this story came about because it's Pride Month and the editor told him, go out and get a Pride story. I 100% guarantee that's the reason.
Yeah, well, you know, it's pretty grubby stuff, isn't it?
Oh, 100% grubby stuff. It's kind of a downer to go to a break on.
Yeah.
We got anything better? Let's go back to the video. Let's get back to Kimmy's video and just play a bit of that so we understand the tops and the bottoms, just to be clear.
Well,
what we should eat.
Well, how about this, Greeno? How about just Happy Pride Month?
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yes, welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Cooling off periods.
That's right, Elon's out, apparently. He's had enough.
Thinking about it.
Bit of Nostradamus from a few weeks back where we're talking about a story where, I don't know, maybe, let me know. I'll come back to you. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Well, it was a few weeks ago we were talking about like the percentage of bots on Twitter, Greeno, and I was like, I presented the scenario. What say you if like in the discovery period of, finding out all about the company he's about to buy, if he figures out that there's like 15% of bots on there, he might pull out, and then the value of Twitter will go through the floor. And sponsors will start demanding money backs and stuff, and then it'll become fucking chaos. He might ruin the place overnight, if he does that.
Spot on.
So, he hasn't technically bought it yet. He hasn't technically handed over the money yet. And this came out, and it's Musk in threat to quit $35 billion Twitter deal after row over fake users, Greeno.
Nice, Gary! Would have thought. This concerns me, Damo, because it makes me worried. Our 6 listeners are only really 3.
Yeah, that's true. At least I reckon it's more than that. I reckon we're running around 80% bot activity, Greeno.
Oh, if not more. No one's really listening to this show. Well, we got our stats for YouTube for last month. Well, fuck me, we had some listeners. It's pretty good. And then I looked and went, guarantee 80%, 100, always going to be bots.
Nice, Gary!
Which bots. Someone's doing us a favour out there because we don't buy them. We don't care.
No, we're not paying for them.
I'm not paying for any fucking bots.
We can't even be asked putting a rundown properly together. That's an effort from this show. We're paying for bots.
We show up late. We're not really professional at all. We used to do a show, but we don't really care anymore. We're just here to hang out. We're just here to have fun.
Yeah, it just gives an excuse to hang out for a couple of hours. I literally logged on 1 minute before airtime today.
Exactly.
I hadn't even got the clips up yet. Oh, fuck me, there's a lot of clips, man. You're like, yeah. Oh, I better get them up during the intro, I suppose.
It was like, how you going? Good. Tired? Yeah, tired. Busy. All right, talk soon. Yeah. And we was in and out in 45 seconds and the show started. That's the first time we've spoken in, a couple of weeks?
A couple of weeks, yeah. I know, we've spoken, but mainly about sport and whatnot, but nothing proper.
No, but, voice speaking to each other. We've
vocally,
text and stuff about bets and shit.
I haven't picked up a phone in the better part of fucking 8 years, man. Like,
just call up. You're going to call up Boogs and have a little chat to him over a cup of coffee and see what he thinks. Think about the world.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Send me a text to get back to you. I'm going to go 5. That's how we roll.
Cucumber sandwich.
I was saying, quick story time for you, sir.
Story.
I like stories about pinatas.
We hang a lot of shit on a bunch of different companies, but occasionally we kind of go, hey, like fucking these guys, nice Garys. You talked about your lawnmower, mate, a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
We talked about some exceptional customer service from Dan Murphy's a while back when they shipped out stuff when certain things were missing and you got a free case of whatever it was.
Correct.
I want to give a nice Gary to stop putting appliances online. You ever dealt with appliances online?
I haven't, no.
You haven't. These guys are sensational. I've been using them for years, but I'd forgotten about them because I've had no need to buy an appliance. That and I'm a tight ass.
Well, first of all, I like their name. I know what I'm in for. It's appliances online. I'm not going to forget that.
Where are you getting it? Yeah. I'm getting it online. Fucking bang. We've got it covered. Yeah. So very, very good.
It's not called like Sergeant Colonel's Bargain Barn or anything. It's appliances online.
Crazy gyms, crazy appliances. We don't want any of that. Appliances online. What are they? Appliances. Where are they? Online. Bang.
Insane Sam's crazy bargains, Greeno.
Spot on.
Let's get them all lined up. Let's go.
It's the Mitch
How about Greeno, just the super discount store? Remember that one?
Yeah. Don't want it.
Super discount store.
Super discount store. It definitely fits in the Mitch Hedberg vein of the Naming Institute. Like, what does it do? It's a crisper. It crisps things. Go to crisper. I'm going on break. What do they sell? Nice, where are they? Online. I'm going on break. So decided going to buy a coffee machine. Our coffee machine's fucking not working at the moment. It just dribbles inside itself.
What kind of machine is it? Is it like a big kind of cafe set? I can't remember what kind of coffee.
No. It's like one of those pod machines that I've got. Okay. So it was like need to get something.
They're good.
But
we love our pod machine.
No, they're great. They're amazing. I've been using them for about 7-8 years. Unbelievable. Like I drink 28 cups of coffee a week. So it definitely gets a workout. It served its purpose. It was the
time to level up.
It was the final week of retirement. He's like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, that's the machine at the moment. So I'm like, look, need to upgrade. And so I said, the wife's been asking me for a couple of years.
You're going to trade out the Murtaugh and get a Riggs in, Greeno.
Get a Riggs in. And she's like, look, once this coffee machine's done, like, we'll buy a proper coffee machine, right? And I'm like, I don't know. They're really expensive.
Beast of a thing. But when she says proper coffee machine, though, does she mean like one that it's in a cafe? Because I reckon I used to want one of those, but now I reckon that would be overkill and just a pain in the ass cleaning it and shit. Fuck that, you know? Pods are so easy.
Pods are massively easy. So, look, we had a discussion, and then I'm like, look, I got so frustrated. I realized how many coffees I drink a week, and I'm like, fuck it, let's upgrade. Like, we're going to do it.
You're going for it.
So I'm like, I looked around. I did all the price comparisons, and my mates at Appliances Online had the cheapest of them all.
Okay.
For the exact same thing, like we're talking, I was like a couple $100 savings for a very expensive coffee machine. So I was like, fuck it, let's lock it in. So I placed an order at like 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
For the machine, right?
Wait, hang on. Can I just interrupt your story just for a quick second?
I like stories about pinatas.
So I have noticed a pattern in your stories where your stories do have this tendency to be like, it looks very straightforward, like it's going in a certain way, and then you just kind of slightly step offline and you just kind of branch off the path, Greeno. And there's always like a little tiny event that happens that skews then into a different fucking realm and a different reality, right? So
what do I say?
Yeah,
I like stories about pinatas.
I'm looking forward to it.
So I placed the order at like 10 o'clock at night, right?
Yes.
I'm fucking, they'll be up.
That assumption.
So
come on, boys, get off your ass. Yeah. We've got a customer. Fucking
I'm going through the order and I'm like, fucking no, I'm not paying for express shipping.
Oh,
Fuck that.
man,
I'm not doing any of that.
Dick.
I'm just, but there's no option for express shipping, right? It's just, look,
that's not a good sign.
Just fucking put the order in, we'll let you know, pretty much. Like, fucking, what day do you want it? So I'm like, oh, fucking whenever. Like, ASAP would be good. So I put in the day I wanted, literally like the next day. And I'm like, they'll get back to me in a couple of weeks. So how long do you think I had to wait for this machine to arrive, sir, if I place an order at 10 p.m.?
Okay, let's think about it. So at 10 p.m.
And no, I didn't pay for express post.
Okay.
I'm like, take as long as you want, guys. Fucking go nuts.
Am I allowed to know where it's coming from? Is it coming from Australia somewhere?
No, it's in Australia.
Okay.
So we're not talking about overseas. This is an Australian website. All the stock is inside Australia and inside our state. I'll give you that tip.
Inside the state? I would think it would be fair and reasonable within the state, if it's just a tiny thing, maybe within like 5 days would be perfectly fine, because you'd have to wait until you've got enough stuff to, if it's one tiny little thing, you can't send a whole truck down for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to wait until you got enough stuff to justify the trip, and then you can do it. So I don't know, how long did you have to wait, Greeno? 5 days is my mark. I'm giving.
I got an email at 6:15 the next morning, and it was in my door at 7:30 the next morning.
Wow, nice, Gary. Fucking unbelievable.
I said to the dude, like, because I'm like, this is surely a prank. Because I said to the wife, like, look, it might be here for your birthday, maybe not. Like, probably not. Fucking I'm ordering at 10:30 on a fucking Thursday night. Yeah. Like, it'll rock up midnight. I had the same thing. I'm like, 5 days, like, no expedited delivery, all good. Going to email you at 6 o'clock this morning, and the guy was at my door at 7:30. I'm like, mate, what fucking time do you start? And he's like, oh, well, pretty early. And I'm like, I said, dude, I legit placed this order at 10 o'clock last night. How the fuck is this at my door now? So they must have this like automated thing going, bang, bang, bang. People are there at 4 a.m. They're like, these are the 10 things you're delivering today. And I just happen to be capital. So nice Gary appliances online. Unreal.
I've got a little story for you, guys.
I like stories about pinatas.
A very similar little story, but mine involves Amazon, Greeno.
Okay.
So I was in a similar situation, and I was just like, you know what? I've never ordered. If I order something online, Greeno will back this up because it's just the kind of person I am. If I want to order something online, I'll go to the online of the shop that I would normally buy it from. And even if it costs me like $30 or $40 more or something, like just say it's a bit of a gear, like a bit of cabling or something like that for the studio, Greeno, I'll go to the shop that I would directly go and buy it from, even if it costs a little bit more, because I'm like, that's my guy. I
don't mind that, except if you're buying it from like a big chain store, then I'm like, dude, you might as well just get it cheaper from Amazon.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you is like, I've never in my life kind of been inclined to go and buy anything off eBay or Amazon. It's never really been my show. And then I thought, you know what? This thing's been raging on for a while. I'm just going to go on there. And I can't even remember what I ordered. It was some kind of knick-knack or something. I was like, yeah, whatever. And it came up and it said, if you order this now, or something like, if you order this in the next 5 hours or something, 6 hours, we will make sure this turns up by 9 p.m. tomorrow. Bang. And I thought, yeah, all right, fucking good luck to you. And so I bought it, and I bought the thing, and I kind of laughed to myself, right? Yeah. I got up the next morning, and I reckon it would have been like 7:30, 8 o'clock, open the front door, and then it's there resting against the fucking front door. And I just thought to myself, look, I do have kind of, obviously, not an ideological problem, but like a philosophical problem with like the power that a mega corporation like Amazon can kind of have over government and society and life. That's one part. But the other part of me thinks slave labor obviously gets fucking results.
Shit works, mate.
It fucking works. The system works.
I bought my son's birthday present the other day, and I think I told this story last year where I bought a story.
I like stories about pinatas.
He's obsessed with this dinosaur show, right? And the only place I could find it was overseas in the UK, and they had the DVD, and I'm like, excellent. I'm just going to order it. I ordered it 4 months before his birthday because lockdowns and shit. I thought it's going to take a while to get here. Never arrived. And I emailed the lady. She resent it a second time. Still never arrived. It just never came. this year, I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm doing nothing but inside Australia stuff. Amazon put in an order, and similar thing to you. It said, "Oh, it'll be here tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, surely not." Like, I ordered it the day before.
Can't be done.
Lo and behold, fucking
It's
10
impossible.
a.m.
Why are you insulting me with this promise? Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck yourself. Can't be
This
done.
is your son's birthday. I'm like, fucking now I'll vote for Bezos then.
Yeah.
Fucking.
I think it's time. All hail Bezos, Greeno.
It's a genius.
I say we elect him as Earth president, and everything will just work. Every train will run on time. Everyone will be productive. Everyone will just be folded into the greater Amazon family.
Amazon
family.
family.
Like to call.
If they can make shit arrive at my door the day after.
Well, you'll be delivering it to your own door, Greeno. It'll be amazing.
We'll have Bezos as like the leader of the world, and then we'll have whoever runs appliances online as the vice president. Between them,
Dan Murphy's delivery people, they have to be involved somewhere in the alcohol distribution.
That might be chief of staff, perhaps. We'll get it working.
Let's just fully embrace corporations running the world and see what happens. It can't be any worse than what we're doing now, can it? It can't be.
Now, to be honest.
Let's just walk in there and fucking throw the backgammon board up in the air, Greeno. Fucking spill all the fucking things on the floor. Let's start again. Let's start afresh. All right, you guys, now you're in charge now. See how you go.
They're doing it better. That's unbelievable. So my son's birthday present's already here. It's not his birthday for another month. Yeah. What am I doing with this thing?
Where am I going to stash this?
I'm going to stash it. Now it's in my garage. What are we doing now? The cops are on TikTok. Fucking,
why?
I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know why cops are on TikTok to begin with, but they're not doing it right. So for the people that are watching the show, just watch it and tell me what you may find disturbing about this TikTok. Let's have a look.
That's a leading question, but I'll allow it.
What you call an icon living? Start a record label, Misfits just did it. Whoa, nylon cover 5 minutes. Whoa, we are too hot in the business. Whoa, about to make a movie independent. Whoa, need new
All right, so anyone want to have a guess as to what's kind of weird? Well, firstly, it's weird that cops have got enough spare time to do a bit of a TikTok. It's crime out there. I can take care of shit. For our podcast listeners, what we just saw was a couple of cops looking down at the camera, and then I guess it was the view of someone they're arresting, I'm assuming. And then they just proceeded to stomp that person's face to then transition into a different picture of cops who are out there on the beat with a bit of a smile on their face. Did someone think to check that before it was released from the federal police? They're like, hey, this might be taken the wrong way. Looks like we're curb stomping motherfuckers, American History X style. It's probably not going to go down well.
What's your genuine belief? Like, do you think that that's like something that you should consider if you do something like this, or do you think that society's getting maybe a little jumpy now at things like that, and they just kind of jump to it's violence because they immediately associate like the violence to the police? You know what I mean?
The latter, but if I don't consider it, then I've got no content for the show. I generally don't give a fuck.
You are such a fucking sandbag demon. I want you to go back and listen to tonight's episode, and you have just sandbagged me on like half a dozen occasions now. In how long have we been going for? 60 minutes. Fuck me. Feels like all day.
You can take over the intro. I'll put the mute button on.
That's the worst. That's like 10 times worse than the normal sandbagging. Just not saying anything. The silent treatment is like, you can't do that. Not on a show, mate. Fucking. You can tell it's been a couple of weeks.
It has been, a bit of silly time. We talked a little while back, maybe about 6-7 shows ago, about all the thing the world's doing to save Ukraine. Yeah. We got songs being sung. We had McDonald's being sung in Russia.
Yeah.
That'll show them.
Yeah, Bono went there, didn't he? And played in a bunker.
Bono rocked up. They had time to get Bono in there to fucking
They kicked out KFC, and lucky for them that they did when they did, because otherwise they'd be losing a fortune importing all the fucking lettuce, Greeno. So they kicked KFC out. Starbucks left as well. That'll fucking show them, you know.
Macca's gone.
Macca's gone. Remember they courageously banned a few innocent Russian athletes from competing at the Olympics.
That's right. That'll show them.
That'll show them.
Why let Medvedev compete at the French Open?
That's right.
No. He competed at the French.
Was it the French? I don't know.
Maybe it's Wimbledon. Sorry, it's Wimbledon. He's banned from, but he was allowed at the French, and he was allowed at the US, and obviously the Australian. But he's banned from one of the 4 majors.
Some poor Russian gymnast at the age of 16 who's been training since she's 4 years old, been taking hormone blockers since she's been 10.
Mate.
You know, you just crushed her dreams. She can't go to the Olympics now. And you only get one shot when you're a gymnast. You don't get to go back to back unless you're like a guy who's like 30 years old. They can do it.
And then
in the young girl aspect, it's like they have a very short lifespan, don't they? It's kind of it's a lot shorter than your average, you know, New South Wales fullback, Greeno, for example.
Correct.
It's a lot shorter than that. Yeah, so we're saving the Ukraine again. Ukraine's poker aces hope to deliver a winning hand for war-torn country.
Nice, Gary!
Ukraine captain Sergei Elefmenko told AFP, quote, it's hard morally to play poker with Russian bombs falling on peaceful cities on your land, but the 2-time defending champion aims to do their country proud at the Nations Cup.
Nice, Gary!
Mate, if anything's going to bring the country together with bombs in their backyard,
the poker tournament.
Freaking Vlad sitting there doing like end of month meeting. It's like, okay, how's the war going, boys? Yeah, look, we've taken out this base, we've destroyed this. Thousands murdered. Fucking this Ukrainian poker player. You're sitting on pocket aces. Fuck me. Didn't that lift the spirits of the little Ukrainians?
Well, we are dropping maybe perhaps, half dozen bombs per minute on their homeland, but unfortunately he has an inline straight draw, and he has odds to make the call from under the gun. You'll see.
We're going to a break, or we're just going to plow through the end of the show?
Should we just plow through? We can go to break. We can plow through. I mean, what else have we got? Let's just see what else we've got to do.
We've got a big back end of sport, but still keeping woke.
Okay.
We've got some sniffy. We've got some sexist block. Got some hot toss.
I'll tell you what. You hold the fort for just a moment. I'll grab myself a beverage, and then we'll just plow on through. What do you say?
That sounds good. And I feel like, if you're going to get a beverage, you might as well play the ad.
Okay, so you want to play the ad?
Play the ad.
Okay.
It's the JJ Stoner Spring Collection, the perfect attire for any and every occasion you can think of this season. Like we were in the mosh pit full of sweat and everyone's slapping, hitting, and pulling on you. This shit won't rip! Lunch at your favorite cafe? Brunch with the girls? These stylish ensembles will give you the confidence you need to look and feel your best. Or if you're getting arrested for possession, it comes with a built-in police stick-proof body armor. Keep swinging, pigs! Call now, and your order will come with a complimentary ounce of that dankest bubblegum slurricane that the South has to offer. Don't forget the wall tapestry! If you need to cover your wall, it works!
Hello, my name is Frozen Asian, and I'd like to tell you about my show, The Sunday Night Shit Show, every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Along with good conversations and laughing at funny and weird shit we find on the internet, we also have The Hat Cam, where I showcase my myriad of great-looking hats. Here is a testimonial from a great friend of mine who has enjoyed my hats lately.
I hope your next hat is a bullet. Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking Asian Dick Tracy? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to ruin my evening? Like I was gonna just listen to my buds do their show, and you just gotta do that. You do the show without the hat.
So you're not enjoying it?
No.
Dude, Asian
come
Dick
on,
Tracy.
secretly you enjoy it.
You look like you're going undercover in Argentina, but it's not working.
I hate you. I hate you.
Oh, come on, you secretly love it.
No, I openly hate it.
And there you have it. So subscribe to the Sunday Night Shit Show at youtube.com/Sunday Night Shit Show. And hope to see you there on Sunday nights. Bye.
Welcome to The Starting Block. Follow on Twitter at The Starting Block. Drop the K at the end. Find the podcast on iTunes or on tavshow.com.
Yes, Starting Block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's been a little while, Damo, since we had some AFL sniffy. It's been part of 3 weeks, I think.
Yep.
Western Bulldogs.
It's been at least a fortnight.
There or thereabouts. What do we have? Who was the dude that got busted?
Bailey.
Bailey, someone?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's a
Bailey,
Dogs player.
Bailey Smith, maybe Dogs
Could
player.
Be. Yeah.
Yeah, there or thereabouts. So
I know he's got a superstar mullet. I mean, look at that thing. That's glorious. Yeah.
Sensational mullet. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Quite an important player for the Bulldogs overall. And you know how I know that, Damo? Because the footy world came out to defend the dude. So similar thing to the Storm players last year, where like he for some reason he was filmed by his mates, like with a little bag of white gear, and they got posted on social media. So then that gets out there, and then suddenly it's like, oh, well, fucking, you got to suspend him, blah, blah, blah. So Adam Ramanauskas, he's a former Dogs player himself, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yep. Correct. So he was on ABC and was kind of like, look, what do you think about this? And he's like, look, it's a risk of the world that we live in with the trade-off with having modern technology. Every phone has a camera now, and people like that like to take anybody with some sort of profile down. The players have to be aware of this. So the issue is not with the sniffy anymore, according to former Dogs players. It's the cameras. It's the people, Damo. It's the issue. It's the filming of the people with the sniffy, not the sniffy. Yeah. It's the issue of the people getting cameras and films and all that kind of stuff, posting on social media. Yeah. That's the true issue. The AFL doesn't have a drug problem. We have a social media problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for all of us too. Like society doesn't have a drug problem, Greeno. They've got a keeping record of drug taking problem.
A drug taking problem that never used to happen back in the day.
Never. It's true. It's fucking true though. I fucking agree with him. He's 100% true. That's 100% spot on. Like I've often said, if I had a button to blow up every camera phone in the world, not to do harm to the person holding it or anything, but if we could just make them like Thanos, just kind of disappear into the ether, Greeno.
Like a Wile E. Coyote kind of thing, where a bit of black soot on the face, and that's it.
They just jump up and run away in a cloud of smoke.
Yeah, 100%.
Beep beep, off they go. They run through it. They run through a poster, Greeno, and you try to go through it and you fall off a cliff.
Nah. Then suddenly you got AFL players trying to sniff it. It's just fucking, it's a bit off-putting.
It's very off-putting.
Saw some white powder. No, it's just ash, mate, from the phone that went up in flames. Don't worry about it.
Well, so what's your take then on, young guys in sports using I think it was a selfie where he had a bag, and then it reminds me of one of my favourite all-time players, Shane Mumford, Greeno, who played for the Giants. Yeah. A video came out while he was retired. Video came out of him just fucking doing these fucking beast lines, Greeno, huge, and everyone around him chanting sausage. He was so beloved by us, the fans and the club. He came out of retirement, came back into the team, and we'd be in the stands, and guess what, Greeno, in the stands by the punters, it'd be kick it to sausage. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary. Look, it's one of those things. It's the problem we have. I swear we've talked about this on the show like 100 times, where putting sports stars to a higher moral standard when it comes to what is happening in reality is fucking stupid. Now, the privilege that comes with being a sports star at a young age means that these guys are actually probably more likely to be on the gear than people are not. Because you know why? Because they can fucking afford it. So, like, whereas, people that might not be able to afford, coke and speed and all that kind of stuff might be smashing bongs because they're in a lower socioeconomic kind of realm. These guys, they got fucking cash to burn. They're young.
I see where you're going with this.
They're not even paying for it, right? Like,
I see where you're headed with this, Greeno. I like the way you think, mate, because you're thinking, so for community service that we're going to make this guy do, we could have him handing out bags of coke in the poor communities, Greeno.
Well, no, just like dime bags.
Dime bags. Just a taste.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
He lets them. He holds the bag like a big bag of sugar, and he lets the kids come up. They lick their pinky finger and stick it in there.
Bit. Like, what do you think? You're like, we can do with some of that. Well, all fucking right. Better get kicking. Yep. Better get out in the training paddock.
I need you out there selling. You're gonna have to sell, earn your keep, kid.
Yeah. Look, it's the fact that. The naivety of like, I'll go back to my original point without the stupid jokes. Yeah. Like the fact that that sports stars have always been portrayed of this like moral bastion of perfection, of like they can't do anything wrong. Well, fucking these are 22-year-old kids who get fucking chicks thrown at them and drugs thrown at them,
money, pussy, fucking celebrity, the lot.
They're fucking bad in their life because they've always been the popular person because they've dominated sport. Like, what do you think really? And like every reporter knows it. Every fucking fan knows it. Anyone who's outraged is the fucking ignorant dickhead because we all know these guys are on, not all of them, because that'd be weird if an entire club was on the gear. But the people that want to take it are going to fucking take it, and it's got nothing to do with as a portion to do with being a sports star. They just have more access to it and availability to it. But don't hold and think. Either make illicit drugs a banned substance under the Drug Act, and then that might have an impact on their career, or fucking stop like kind of sitting up there and going, oh no, how bad is this, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like
kind of critical.
No, that's
at the same time. As if those fucking journos and reporters, like the Logies are happening this week, and you can't tell me there's a whole bunch of journos that reported on this story that aren't fucking in the bathrooms with home and away stars who are fucking stiffy themselves. You know what I mean? Like
stiffy themselves.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it for a second.
Gold Coast, for Christ's sake, like.
I look, and you know what? Like, I mostly agree with you. Like, my stance when it comes to athletes. I agree on the let's not turn them into idols. Yeah, but well, that kind of thing aside as well. It's a bit. I'm not surprised, but it doesn't bother me at the same time. Like I said, I just told you about Mummy, who's a hero to us, and we don't care that he got caught with a bag of coke. I'm like, you have at it, son. Couldn't care less.
Well, that's the thing that they say, like, sports stars are role models for young kids. Yeah, well, no, I tell you, he's got to teach the young kids about right from wrong. The fucking parents, not the sports stars. Like,
well, I take the kids should take it. These are good role models because he can do bags of coke and still be a fucking top line professional athlete, right? That's a good fucking role model to have. Don't let your role model be the fucking bag of coke, the guy who's handing them out in the park, Greeno. Don't let that guy be your role model.
No, you don't want him. Yeah, you want the guy who's
he's terrible. He's going to get you in a lot of trouble.
You go be like Bailey. He hasn't fucking slept for 4 days. And have a look at him. He still goes out and gets 15
runs out hard. He's getting 10. He got 20 tackles yesterday. It was nuts. Couldn't fucking stop him. No, so like that's my personal thing, but I guess the difference. I guess the difference with this one, and I agree with like the phones and stuff. I've often talked about like the phone culture now and shit. But I guess the difference with this one is. This particular, of course, they're aware of it because this particular. Hang on. Well, let me tell you, the interesting aspect of this one is this particular guy. He's kind of a celebrity in his own right outside of football because apparently, I don't know, but apparently he's like huge on Instagram, and he's kind of got his own kind of PR thing going outside of football as well. Yeah. So I think that's because I think that's where the pictures ended up showing up was on Instagram or something. So normally, of course, I'm like, well, I don't care. I still don't care, like, if he does lines or not. It doesn't worry me in the slightest, right? But normally I'm like, whatever. But because I reckon it becomes like a workplace issue. Okay. So this whole disrepute angle, because he's actually getting suspended by the club because of not because he broke any rule, but because everyone found out about it. That's why he's being suspended, right?
100%, yeah.
Because the actual rule is, like, if you actually commit a drug offense and nobody finds out about it, then they keep it that way. And it's kind of kept in-house, and you talk to a doctor and whatever you got to do. And you can actually do that a couple of times. Yeah. And I'm not even necessarily against, I'm actually in favor of that policy. I think it's very good. But it's the fact that there was a picture that came out. That's why he's getting suspended. So I reckon it's a workplace issue. And if it's a workplace issue, then it has to be treated like it. Now, does a workplace have a right to drug test you before your job? Yes or no? Yes, they do. If you sign the contract.
If you sign the contract that says we get to drug test you. Yeah,
that's
correct.
Right. But can the workplace suspend you from the workplace if, you get caught on the weekend on Twitter or something, doing a line? That's a little bit more of a gray area, Greeno, because
did he fail a drug test?
When he goes into the work, right? Yeah, but he's not being suspended for that, because this drug thing happened in the off season after the 2021 grand final. So he wasn't at work when he was doing this. This was like on vacation, Greeno.
It's like the Storm though, where they said, because similar thing, they got filmed with white bags, and no one, they never tested positive for a drug.
No. So he was on quote unquote vacation when this happened. Now, would you have an issue with your employer firing you, not because you didn't fail a drug test at work, but because they saw a picture of you holding a white bag while you're on vacation and not even at work? Maybe you'd have a case, wouldn't you?
Oh, 100% you'd have a case.
Right.
So I'm the only thing illegal. I held a bag of sugar.
Exactly.
Otherwise.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that.
If it was a normal quote-unquote workplace issue, the employer would find it very difficult to suspend you without pay or punish you or something.
Sure.
It would be tough. Yeah, it would be tough.
Yeah. Failed drug test, 100%. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like,
but if you show up clean, to work that first day, there's nothing they can fucking do to you.
100%. I remember being stupid kid stuff. Not me specifically, but I remember seeing the dude snort whiz fizz, like legitimate whiz fizz.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Now if that is filmed on social media, and they say that dude's sports star, he's fucked. But the dude was literally snorting whiz fizz because he's a fucking idiot. It's not a fireable offense, but at the same time, it's like, well, you don't actually know. Like, we know what the white powder was, but you can't prove it, can you? So yeah, it's like a photo. Find me for photos. Is in my contract you can find me for photos of white bag powder? No, it's not. Fuck you. But he's not going to fight it because he'll be back in a couple of weeks. He's still going to get paid while he's suspended. Happy days, you move on.
Yeah, so you can give me a dick move if you want, but I'm kind of on the player's side for this.
No, I'm not giving you a dick move at all. I think it's fucking stupid that people are taking it's stupid that he got suspended. And you talk about the employment issue. There's no fucking way that his coach, the board, they know who's on drugs and who's not. Let's not be stupid here. They're handing out hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? They are backgrounding the fuck out of these players that before they get those contracts signed to go, okay, who's he knocked up? Who's he sleeping with? What drugs does he take? All right, can we deal with all this and still pay him this amount? Yes, we can. How good is he? He gets this many, gets this many disposals. All right, fucking sign him up. They know everything that's going on. And anyone who thinks that footy clubs don't know what's going on inside their club are very naive. They know exactly everything about everyone.
Look, to be fair, I think they know as much as they possibly can, but I don't think it's fair to say that they would absolutely know everything, because every time there's always something. People always keep things, Greeno.
There's going to be some things, but they've got investigators on all these guys or anyone that's on big money.
I imagine the equation that you presented is probably true, and then they would take the gamble can we bring this guy in and make him a part of our footy club? That would be a conversation that they have. What's his home life like? How much do we back ourselves and our support network and our systems to turn this kid into a man kind of thing? You know what I mean? So there would be a lot of that goes on as well.
Well, let's use Ben Cousins as an example. Do you think the West Coast Eagles didn't know what kind of drugs he was on during the peak of his powers.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people did, but that was their culture at the time, was to be like, what happens in the team stays in the team kind of aspect, wasn't it?
That's it, and like you said, it becomes a workplace issue. Yeah. No one needs to fucking know about it. Like, it's kind of, to be honest, it's like it's sticking nose in people's personal business more than anything else.
Speaking of workplace issues, Greeno, breaking news: Washington is finding, what are they called now? The Washington what's?
The Commodores, Commanders?
The Commodores. Like, there's like the singing guys.
So this is the dumbest thing ever, right? So they're like, we don't want to be racist anymore, so we're getting rid of the Redskins name. Like, what are you going to call yourself? We don't know. So they played 2 whole seasons without a name.
Yeah, the Washington football team.
2 years. Yeah. And after 2 years of trying to come up with a name, they came up with the Washington Commanders.
Would you just feel like a fucking idiot going in to watch your team, the Washington football team, play? I would feel like a fucking moron. I wouldn't go for them anymore. I'd be like, stick it up your ass, man. I'm not doing that.
So bad.
You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. I would go for the local rival over something like that.
I'd rather
you guys were right all along. We are cocksuckers. We are fucking stupid. Yeah. We are shit. I'm on your team now. Fucking you nailed it. Congratulations. You know.
The Washington bondage eggplants, perhaps.
Bondage eggplants. I still think it was a gun belt. So,
I think it was bondage. It was weird.
Washington is fining defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio 100,000 buckaroonies, Greeno, for his comments comparing the protest in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd to the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. So he's not even allowed to make the comparison.
Nice,
and I would think that that's fair. You know, you shouldn't be allowed to make the comparison because clearly one event led to around 8 or 9 months of violence in at least half a dozen American cities where, you know, government buildings were burnt to the ground, police stations, Molotov cocktails, people were killed on the streets, versus, you know, the January 6th thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it would be an unfair comparison to make. So that's fair, right? Am I wrong there? Or
No, that is fair. The NFL
it would be silly to compare those two things, obviously.
The NFL is a bit of a cooked place because this guy gets fined for words. Word ouchies, as I like to refer to them.
Word ouchies.
Yet we go to Deshaun Watson, who's an NFL quarterback who is now facing close to 30 cases of civil suits for sexual assault. He got traded and then got a multi-million-dollar extension whilst still dealing with these cases of civil suits. Now,
I love how the opinion it's an open and shut case. No need for an investigation here. No need for a hearing. It's like, nope, this is not tolerated. And it's like, all right, bring in the next one. What do you do? He beat a cab driver half to death on his way to the dog fighting, and then he raped a chick. And it's like, well, he does have a good arm, though.
Yeah.
So we might, well, I'll tell you what, we'll punt him up to fucking Seattle for a few years.
Deshaun Watson is literally facing 30 cases of sexual assault against massage workers over the course of like several years. More and more keep on coming out going, oh yeah, oh fucking that dude. Yeah, he came in here. He was a menace. But this guy said some words, 100,000.
100,000. So.
There's been statements against this guy going from the club.
He's been getting death threats. He's been getting death threats now.
Yeah. The words, Damo. Yeah. Words are a lot more fucking dangerous than, you know.
Every now and then, Greeno, I come across
massage therapists. It's fucking no good.
That's ridiculous.
27 of them.
Every now and then, Greeno, I come across someone who tries, and they believe in their heart of hearts, and they tell me, you know, we're getting more progressive, we're getting more tolerant, and I'm like, you really believe that, don't you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no, it's getting worse. People are getting angrier. They're getting more fractured. The great illusion that some of us are witnessing here is the fact that you're all kind of on board and you think it's the opposite when it's clearly painfully, if you're not on the ship, it's like if you're not on the roller coaster, you can see how it's going from the ground, Greeno.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So we're all kind of watching the highs and the lows here. We're muting fucking Ukraine on Twitter because we want to see tit and sport. And we're kind of watching the roller coaster go around. Don't disturb me while I'm having my lunch, kid, kind of attitude. Right? And we're watching, and they're getting really, you know what? It's just, we've never been so united. And it's like, well, guys can get, $100,000 fines from the company, Greeno, from the employer. again, it's a workplace issue, right?
Right.
Isn't it?
Well,
they keep telling me it's a workplace. So
He's allowed to fucking say whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
If he said it during the halftime show, fair enough, fine him. If they asked him a question, well, what do you think about this? Well, here's what I think. Well, that's what he fucking thought. Don't ask him the question.
Yeah. It's just bizarre stuff.
It's all good though, day, mate. NFL's got it covered. He's
just
like,
shows, you know what it shows more than anything? It shows that fucking professional sports is a fucking industry to be reckoned with, isn't it? Because they're kind of like a cartel now. They kind of write their own rules, don't they? The professional sports of the world.
They do.
They have their own rule books.
Actually paid $100,000. Fuck no. They just said he got fined $100,000. Yeah. He didn't actually pay it. Now they're going to come out and look like they did. And like this next story that you sent through.
Yep. Well, this is good because I like tolerance, Greeno, as I'm sure you do as well, where you love tolerating things. NFL's first transgender cheerleader, dancer 29, signs with Carolina Panthers and says, quote, more people need to see this. So there you go, Greeno. Nice, Gary.
Now,
chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists.
Putting the effort into the rundown as we discussed.
Yeah.
Is this a guy who's a girl or a girl that's a guy?
Well, I guess if we keep reading, they might tell us, or maybe that's part of the whole thing. You kind of have to not assume, isn't it? You're not allowed to say what you think it is. Yeah.
What chromosome was the cheerleader born with is my question, I guess.
That's a tough one for me to answer, Greeno. Justine Lindsay, 29, told the world in an Instagram post in March she made the Top Cats the cheerleading squad for the Carolina Panthers. In that same, the football fans are going to be overjoyed with this, aren't they? Greeno? Yeah. You can just imagine it, can't you? The Carolina Panthers. I mean, this goes right to the heart of their culture, doesn't it? They're going to really, really thrive here. I'm no good with geography. Is Carolina in the south? Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Good to know. I love it down there. I would like to. That's not to say that there aren't kind of trendy hipster areas, and there's North Carolina and South Carolina, but it's just it's. I imagine the football going crowd to be, perhaps slicing more of a particular demographic than others, per se. It's going to make it an awkward situation when the linebacker is trying to hit on the cheerleader. Yeah. Like how many people who would line up in the cold to watch the Carolina Panthers play a football game the next night would go and see Bolshoi? How many of those fans exist? I'm tipping not many. I reckon we're talking sub 1%, sir. Sub one minimum. Cat's out of the bag. You're looking at the newest member of the Carolina Panthers Top Cats cheerleaders as the first transgender female, Greeno. So there you go. There's your answer. Transgender female. Look, I don't mind that. Like, cheerleaders are themselves athletes. Yeah. Fucking unbelievable, the athletic ability of all of them. So, transgender, but boys, girls, fucking whatever. Like, they've had guy cheerleaders for a while, so I don't care. 100%. Fucking wasn't George W. Bush a guy cheerleader back in the day in college? Was he? A cheerleader. Oh yeah, 100% he was. So was he one of the guys with the stick? He was out at the front. No, he sat there and did the cheerleading. He was a cheerleader. I thought he was I thought he was a National Guard pilot or something. Nah, he doesn't. As if he signed up for that. He was just a cheerleader. Got a letter. The football. So you can't do that. That looks dangerous. I don't do the cheerleading. No, good on him. Like, fucking, the fact that it's a story is kind of. Here's the thing, right? I have no qualms with whether it be male, female, transgender, getting that job. The fact it becomes a story is kind of weird. Like, for me, is what bothers me, because isn't true equality of like, okay, cool, like this person was the best person for the job, whether it's a guy, girl, or someone who's a guy who thinks it's a girl, or vice versa. Well, I guess that's a fair comment if you assume that the aim is true equality. That's what always confuses me. I'm like, oh, no, excellent. Like, are they good at cheerleading? Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what's good. I was of the opinion, and this is going to probably sound awful. People? This is going to sound misogynist. But I was of the opinion that the good cheerleaders were just the prettier ones. Isn't that the way it works? No, because they all kind of do the same shit, don't they? They dance and throw things and jump around. It's like, no, it's not the old days, man. Seen one cheer routine, you've seen them all. It's literally like, a bit of a sexy girl with a bit of pom poms. No, it's transgender. It's athletes now out there. Fucking acrobatics and shit. It's unbelievable to watch. It's very, very good. But no, best of luck to whose name is it? Justine Lindsay. Yeah, best of luck to Justine Lindsay. Hope you have a good season next year. Yep.
Now, Dame, a bit of hot toss for you, sir.
Hot toss off the press, Greeno.
Because we're talking about off-field, on-field, when does the sport club need to be involved?
Yeah.
And came across this throughout the course of the week. Tim Anderson, who plays for the Chicago White Sox. Now, he was involved in a bit of controversy about 4 weeks back now, I think, where he was in a racial row with one of the Yankees players.
Say. Is he good? Is he good? Is he better than the other guy?
Good. He's very good. Right. Yeah, he's probably the best player in the White Sox. Well, from a hitting standpoint anyway. But he's very outspoken and kind of like...
Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah, which is fine. He's got the talent to back it up. He kind of likes to show off a little bit, but he's like, "Hey, man, this is just me." Now, he was in a racial row a couple of weeks back.
Sport without the characters, sport is fucking lifeless and dull without the characters.
It's very boring. And this guy's very entertaining.
I like the game more than anything else. Don't get me wrong. So if I'm interested in a sport, it's ultimately because I'm interested in the science and the mechanics of the game that they're playing more than the personalities and stuff. But if you want me to absorb any of that, kind of dribble fucking, the leech sport media that attaches itself, Greeno, and just sucks fucking blood constantly. If you ever want me to engage in any of that, you have to let the sports stars be themselves. If you're gonna keep fucking, quote unquote nurturing them or just boxing them into these corners where they're not allowed to do anything or say anything or have no characters. We were born in the wrong era, Greeno. Once upon a time, we would have celebrated Maradona doing fucking huge lines of coke right off the line on the fucking football field. You know what I mean? We were going, yeah, he's a hero. It was the 70s, Greeno. The mutton chops. You could do whatever you fucking wanted back then. We were born in the wrong era. But, if you can't let the sports stars be themselves and be entertaining and, just be that, then I don't really care that much about what you're doing, It's not right. Fuck them. The media wants to run the narratives,
No, it's not so much the media. They were actually on this guy's side in that particular argument because he's like, it was racist undertones, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It would have fallen into our segment, Is This Racist? If I wanted to put in the rundown a few weeks back.
Give me the rundown. What did he do? Quickly, very quickly.
Well, so what happened is he got into an argument with the Yankees third baseman because the Yankees third baseman referred to him as Jackie. Now, that was a reference to Jackie Robinson, who was the first black player to play in the MLB.
Okay.
So that seems like it has racial undertones, right? But the backstory to it was the fact that Tim Anderson said about 3 years ago in an article,
I'll be better than Jackie Robinson.
No. I'm this generation's Jackie Robinson. So this dude then referred to that guy as Jackie based on that article, and he's like, "No, man, he's fucking racist. Call me like it's racial undertones."
He's pointing out what a douchebag you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna be this generation's Jackie, where I just kind of just do my own thing and celebrate the game. So
how long did it take for that old video to come out? Before, because when he accuses him of racism,
it wasn't an old video; it was an article where he talked about how he was going to be he wanted to be this generation's Jackie Robinson, where he's like, I'm just going to have fun playing the game. I'm going to celebrate and backflip. I don't care what the rules say.
Well, because I reckon the way these things usually go, Greeno, is when at the moment he announced it's racism that this altercation's taking place, within the first 5 to 10 minutes, it would have been whipped up by all of these fringe internet publications very quickly, like a bushfire ground, they would have sent it out. And then it would have been 10 to 15 minute range when they would have started getting word in, oh, hang on a minute, there's context here. So it would have been accusers of racism, white supremacy. And then people start commenting on the original headlines and go, yeah, well, this proves that white supremacy is still rife. And then they start getting the fucking corrections filtering through.
No. There was no corrections, though. No one
even bothered, of course.
And they just said, it's still racial undertones. It's like, well, it's not. Yeah. The dude fucking referred himself as Jackie. The guy was taking the piss out of that.
That's right.
It fell in that is it racist. But anyway, you can't say it's not racist because the guy said it was racist. So what can you do? But
it's just racist now. That's it.
It's just racist now. That's fine. So this made me like what the fuck? So White Sox Tim Anderson's wife, Bria, posted a sweet IG Instagram for the kids out there.
Very good, Greeno. You deserve Good on you for pointing that out for the kids out there, Greeno.
Just in case you don't know what the IG means. We're talking about
acronyms. The IG. Look at you go, the IG. Are you on the IG now, by the sound
Definitely not on the IG. I struggle to do the tweet.
What would it take for you to get on Instagram? Because I hear there's a lot of sport and tit on there, Greeno.
I'm sure there is. Now, the thing is, like, you know me, I don't even find one photo of Greeno on Twitter after 12 years on Twitter. That's all Instagram is. It's photos, right?
It's photos and videos, I think. But
yeah, see, I don't post videos. I don't do photos. So
no, but you don't have to post stuff to follow other people on there. You can just follow whoever.
Yeah, but why would I follow? I can find tit on the internet anywhere.
Yeah, well, of course you can, but then why are you on Twitter? You're trying to mold Twitter to the more of a tit sport friendly experience, you know.
Fair call.
And what I'm saying is, you can also do that on Instagram, and I think you might have like more of a fruitful endeavor as well.
Make sure you follow the Starting Block on IG. On
Instagram.
Starting
tomorrow. He'll be the one following all the fucking black chicks who are twerking.
Sport and tit. If you want to find me, I'm the guy following all the sport and tit.
Yep.
So posted a sweet IG. So his wife posts, put this nice little picture up showing their love for each other, only to have the dude's side chick.
Yeah.
I don't care who her friend is and BFF, fuck that. It was just showing a video of Anderson in the car with this girl telling his wife that she's pregnant with his baby.
Oh, nice, Gary.
Okay, so
that's a brutal one. Can you break that down one more time? So the girlfriend is pregnant with his baby, is she?
No, so the
wife's pregnant with the baby.
The wife sent a lovely picture out going, "Hey, here's me and my hubby. We're so in love." Yeah. And then his side chick then sent an IG back going, "Hey, here's a picture of me and your man in my car. By the way, he knocked me up."
Right.
It's like Young and the Restless shit. It's fucking pretty good. Now, here's what I don't understand, right? So his wife, a very beautiful lady, very beautiful. I dare say.
Yeah, the top comment here is the wife is better looking than the side chick. I got to agree.
That's it. So, equal, let's just say equal levels of beauty. So,
that's so weird. That's so weird to a fair down, isn't it? I don't know. Don't you think you only... did he? Yeah, I guess he did.
Tiger?
Well, he didn't have porn stars and stuff. Yeah, but he had porn stars and stuff as well.
Ugly porn stars.
Well, I mean, his wife was pretty good looking, but I think it was about status for him, wasn't it?
I think it was just notches in the belt.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Potentially.
But it is kind of weird to, a fair down, isn't it?
Well, here's what I don't understand, right? If you're a baseball, this guy has a shit ton of talent. He's a very talented player. He's got millions in the bank, right?
Yeah.
Why would you fucking get married and be in a relationship? If your plan is to just, because they're on the road all the time, want to fuck around, that's fine. Be on the road, fuck around. Just don't get married.
Hakeem Olajuwon had 40 illegitimate children around the United States.
Scottie Pippen had 700 kids.
Kobe Bryant had a few.
Yeah.
They all had kids everywhere.
Not all consensually.
If you're a white guy in the South somewhere thinking about why are all these black people in basketball, that's why, because they planted them all around the country. So, they've basically, all of the NBA now is basically Dr. J's, fucking Hakeem's, fucking Shaq's, Kobe's, all their illegitimates running around out there.
Yeah, 100%.
They now dominate the league. It's incredible.
I don't understand it. Don't get married. How hard is it? Don't get in a relationship. You're a superstar. You want to go fuck everyone. Go nuts. Go crazy.
Exactly.
Just don't get married in the first place and fuck up the first chick's life. Anyway. Found that kind of interesting. What do we got left?
It was very gossipy, I guess.
It was very gossipy, but it's nice to have a bit of gossip at the arse end of the segment.
Okay.
Oh, a bit of blind shark. So, have you been following this live golf controversy at all?
The last thing I heard about it, and it kind of made me laugh, but I didn't really know what was going on. I heard one day, on consecutive days, right? So let's call it Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, I heard, in the car as I was driving a 5-minute drive somewhere, Phil Mickelson has announced that he's signed for the new Rebel Golf Tournament. And I thought, okay, that thing's still going because I haven't heard about it. And then the next day, and I reckon it was 24 hours later, and it's Phil Mickelson apologizes for joining the Rebel Golf Tournament. And I just thought, fucking good old reliable Phil Mickelson. He's such a fucking soft cock sometimes, isn't he? And it's like... what are you apologizing for, mate? Aren't they going to pay you billions of dollars to do this?
100%. So, Phil became even more of a soft cock because what happened is they announced all the initial players, and Phil's name wasn't
Super
on
League,
there.
Basically. If you're an Australian listening to this, it's a Super League of golf.
Yeah. So Phil's name wasn't on the initial list of players after they announced it. Because he's like, well, I don't want my name associated with it. And then his name got announced literally the week of the tournament. I was like, oh, yeah, Phil's coming too. They paid him like $150 million, like stupid money. You can't like, I get it, but
so what is he banned now from PGA events or what?
The PGA's banned all the players that are playing, but the thing is, the majors aren't owned by the PGA, so all these players can still play.
They basically lease the course, don't they, from the people there? The course invites the PGA there, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the course is owned by someone other than the PGA. Exactly. They're individually owned. The PGA Tour in itself is a non-profit organization.
They organise the comp, they keep the scores, they run the comp, and they
exactly. Whereas the Live League is like, well, we're going to pay the golfers to come play. Doesn't matter how much you suck, you get 150 mil.
It's like World Series of cricket or something, isn't it?
It is, but it's just no good. Like, it's just kind of bad. But we'll wait and see how it all pans out. The first tournament was a bit of a dud, but there was a bit of controversy because a whole bunch of like reporters are rocking up asking like the hard questions, etc.
Who won the first tournament? Some random we've never heard of?
I think Charles Schwartzel might have won.
Okay. Are all the best golfers still in the PGA Tour?
For the most part, like they've got some good names. Like they got Dustin Johnson, they got Charles Schwartzel.
Is it guys are on the back end of their career though, isn't it?
Guys on the back end of their career, or like just want a quick fat payday.
Yeah.
So like Patrick Reed.
So that model can't last unless you're getting the young stars in there to fuel sponsorship and but if they have to get it soon because you can't just rely on the plus 35s because it'll just become the new seniors league. And if it's the new seniors league, nobody will want to spend money on it, which means you're just losing, and you can't afford to pay fucking Greg Norman $1 billion a year for. I mean, he's not the Greg Norman of the 1980s anymore.
Saudi billionaires, dude. Like,
I know, but still, eventually you're like, okay, well, this is kind of getting out of hand. Remember A1 Grand Prix, Greeno? This is a very similar tale to A1 Grand Prix.
A1 Grand Prix. There's no doubt this is A1 Grand Prix.
I mean, it was a good idea, right? And they tried really hard. And you know what? We watched some races. I'm like, you know what? This isn't bad racing. So good luck to it. But you just can only go so far unless if you go the first few years and you don't pick up that popularity instantly, then it just fucking dies on the vine, you know?
100%.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. So I wonder if, like, let's say the Saudi League wraps up in, say, 2 or 3 years, because they're going to have a big showpiece tournament somewhere. You just can't create over 100 years of history out of nothing.
Oh, exactly, and that's why the PGA Tour has been around forever.
Yeah,
it's a showpiece thing, and you know, good luck, good on these guys. I probably would do the same thing. 150 million to go fucking play. I got no moral issues. If someone's going to pay me 150 million, go nuts.
Oh, and especially if I'm thinking, well, my best days are behind me. I'm probably never going to get another sniff at a major anyway, and I can keep pottering around, showing up to the invitationals, or I can do this. Yeah.
He can still play. Like, don't get me wrong, Dustin Johnson won 40 million last year on the PGA Tour. Yet he signed up for 100+ million to go play in this Live Golf League. So,
but it's 100 million guaranteed. He won 40 million.
Exactly.
He's getting paid 100 million.
Dustin Johnson ain't short on cash, but he loves it to sniffy himself. That money ain't gonna last.
Don't blame him. 100 million, Greeno.
Big fat sausages there.
I don't know if there's enough. I don't know. Look, golf's really popular and golf's huge, and there's a lot of people who play golf and buy golf products and stuff. I still don't know if it's big enough to justify paying, like, for example, Dustin Johnson $100 million to just turn up, because he's not getting paid to win anything. He's just getting paid to turn up. I don't know if it's 100%. That rich. Yeah.
And this is the thing, like, how do you make golf more exciting? Because like, what you're trying to do is steal viewers, right?
Yes.
It's like, how do you
trying
take
to eat into the
sport
market? Yeah.
That for the most part is never going to change because that's what the sport is. You hit the ball, you walk to the ball.
It's a stick, a ball. It's a stick, a ball, and a cup, and that's pretty much all it's ever going to be.
And that is it. So they try to introduce these things like, oh, we got teams and fucking like the Ryder Cup. We've seen that. Like,
but it only works for the two ones with history behind them. No one else cares about the rest.
So unless you've got all the best players, like, you're probably not going to watch it because you're not going to see the best golf. It was apparently horrible golf that was played.
Where was it? Where was the first? Doha or something?
England, I think, maybe.
England? The Saudi Golf Tour is in England? I want to see him playing in the fucking desert, Greeno.
It's Saudi backed. So,
Okay.
They're not playing in the desert.
So do you reckon they're going to start like kind of hijacking some of the big courses? Like they might take a St. Andrews or something away from the PGA, and the PGA will be like, well, we can't go there ever again because they've taken it.
PGA doesn't play St. Andrews. That's a major. A major's not owned by the PGA.
Right, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, do you reckon they're going to try and start taking some courses and then force the PGA to be like, well, we can't have our event there because you've had the Rebel golf course. That's what I'm getting at.
Golf courses will like jump to any chance they can get to get the PGA to play there because they bring money. Like there's billions of golf courses.
Well, the Saudis bring money too now.
They do, but they're not going to keep on spending money if it's not going to make money back. So wait and see. Yeah. We got completely off track with this. Alan Shipnick, he said it.
So what is he, a golf author or something? Golf
he's a
journal.
reporter. Okay. So he sent a message to Greg Norman. It's like, are you aware that I just got muscled out of Phil's press conference by a couple of your goons?
Your goons. Like, does Greg, now we need to analyze that. Does Greg Norman have goons, Greeno? Do you believe?
Greg definitely has goons. Luckily for you guys, I kept my cool and de-escalated the situation. Please call me to discuss.
I kept my cool. Lucky for you, I kept my cool. De-escalated.
Greg replied, did not hear. Thanks for letting me know. And then the dude sent a picture with Greg behind the dude being muscled out, watching as it was happening. Dick move. Dick move to the shark.
You dick.
You dick. All right, that's the rundown. Fuck me. That was a very serious rundown for the better part.
Yeah. It was fun, though. We had fun.
It was good. Should we talk a quick bit of NBA before we go, though? Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors. Beat my Celtics. But fuck me. Like, we talk about dynasties. We've had the pleasure to watch a couple of really good teams in our time watching basketball. Obviously, the Chicago Bulls of the 90s. You had the Houston Rockets, who also had a nice little couple-year run, back-to-backs. But the Golden State Warriors, you had the Miami Heat in the
You had the Lakers, Greeno, in the noughties.
Yeah, and had the Lakers as well, 100% with the Shaq and Kobe.
They won a few,
The Golden State Warriors, it's like you just have to appreciate greatness sometimes. And even though I was disappointed my team lost, I was like, fuck, man, Steph, Clay, Draymond, the other guys, like...
You know what's great about the Golden State Warriors? You know what's great about the Golden State Warriors? There's a lot of San Antonio about the way their team as their franchise is set up, because they've done it now with like... See, it's different. The Chicago Bulls won all of theirs with basically the same 3 or 4 players.
Well, that's what the Golden State Warriors have done.
No, but they've had like a big rotation of squad, right, around their team. No,
it's around the big 3, right? So you've always had Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
Yep.
So similar to, Scotty, MJ, and that's pretty much it. Everyone kind of worked around them.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was the basis of that Bulls team, They've kept their core. Both of those players drafted by the team.
Yep.
So they weren't bought. Like, just fucking, all I could do was like, man, my team lost, but fucking tip of the hat, eh? Like,
yeah, that's true.
These guys are just probably the best of this generation. Like, I know, like, LeBron is probably the best player of this generation. Don't get me wrong, but fuck me, Steph's not far behind. Eh? He's like I've said it before on the show. He's better than Reggie Miller as a shooter, and I never thought I'd see a better shooter than Reggie Miller. And not by a little bit, by a fucking long way. Like, there was a shot he took today from a 3-pointer. He was pretty much fucking like at like a side angle shooting the ball at a side court shot. Where I'm like, how the fuck did he make that? Like, it's stupid how good he is at shooting a basketball.
And it's the balls to go for that kind of shot as well, which is what Reggie Miller had. Like, he had the balls to just fucking go for it if he felt it. That's the rare thing. They're good shooters, but it's having the balls to take the shot.
Exactly. So no, well done to the Golden State Warriors. Fourth championship for those 3 guys, and
championship in how many years? Like 8 years, 9 years?
8 years, I think. Yeah, they're what was it, 20? Yeah, I think 8 or 9 years they're about. So no, well done. Yeah, Steph with the Finals MVP trophy, which was the criticism of. He's like, he's done it all, but he's never won a Finals MVP, even though he's been very good in the finals. Like, the media is fucking douchebags in America. And then Steph went and won the Finals MVP, and I'll give a tip of the hat to Steve Kerr, who, by the way, now has 9 rings overall.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is fucking insane. The only people that have more than him are like some of the greatest ever. Most of them are coaches because they can go from team to team. But Steve Kerr, 9 rings. Where they're like, so
Steph what's that? How many is that? 5 of us as a player and 4 as a coach? Is it?
Yeah, spot on. Okay. Yeah, so we got 5 as a player, 4 as a coach.
So the last 2 of the first Bulls dynasty, and then the last 3. Is that?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Oh no, he got one with another team as well. He was with.
Really?
Fuck me, it's going to bug me. He played for another team that had a ring before he played for the Bulls.
Really?
Yeah.
I only remember.
He had a very successful career.
Yeah, I don't even remember him playing for anyone else except the Bulls. So
me either, but he was one of those guys. Like he just came off the bench, gave him 10 minutes, like would hit a couple of threes, and then
like
he
a
did
Mark
his shot.
Bryce character.
Spot on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Little white guy who shoots threes.
Yeah.
every good team in the 90s had one. Just a white guy comes off the bench, can shoot threes. They used to import them. Remember, they imported Shane Heal over there. We need a short white guy to shoot threes. We don't have one.
That's all we need.
Yep.
He's all good.
He gets 7 or 8 minutes. He gets free of his defender and has a couple of pots. That's it.
Yeah. He gets 6 points. He's done his job.
Maybe get a steal or 2. That'd be nice as well if you can manage it. But that's it. That's all we expect.
Muscle up on D. That's all we want from you.
That's right.
So Steve Kerr, they asked him about, how do you rate Steph? So he's finally got his MVP trophy. He's like, well, he hasn't got a gold medal, has he? Obviously, tongue in cheek.
He's not the president yet, is he?
That's it.
He might have done all this, but he doesn't have a fucking Super Bowl ring, does he?
Tongue in cheek, he's like, he hasn't a gold medal at the Olympics, does he?
Does he now start to challenge LeBron in terms of legacy? Do you think? Because LeBron chopped it. It's the 2 different approaches, right? You've got the one where it's like, no, we're going to stay here. We're going to commit to the team and it's loyalty over time. We'll win more. And LeBron is kind of like, all right, who's buying? Who wants me?
Mate, it's a fair call. Like, look,
which way's harder?
Overall, I think we know LeBron's a better player overall because he does everything. But if you're looking at overall legacy and kind of like, who's the better player? Fuck, man. Like, Steph's got a pretty...
It's hard to go past him. Hard to go past Curry.
He's changed the way the game has played because he's such a good shooter. Because now everyone's like, well, we just need to find a guy who can shoot threes all the time, and it becomes like a money ball situation.
We were talking about this. Off air. I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, something like that. How modern NBA is so different to the NBA that you and I watched when we were kids. Because when we were kids, the best players were the ones who dunked the hardest. Like it was fucking Sean Kemp and Alonzo Mourning and Shaq. It was a different game. It was all power and inside stuff.
The guards were the guys that passed us the balls to the guys we wanted to see. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you had your exceptions to the rule. You had your MJs, you had your Pennies.
Yeah.
And then in the late days, you had your Kobe and whatnot. But for the most part, they were meant to be facilitators, the guards. And then occasionally they put up a 3, but the game has changed.
Yep. You wanted low percentage, you wanted high percentage shots, and that meant getting low post. Like that was pretty much how everyone played. You would go for the high percentage shot first and then work your way backwards, right?
And I dare say, if Boston had employed that strategy of this series, they would have actually won.
They threw it away. This series was theirs for the taking, and they threw it away. It was like they couldn't imagine themselves as champions, and they kind of fumbled or something.
I've never seen as many turnovers for a team in a final, and I've also never seen poor shooting selection like I've seen in that.
They panicked. That's what it was. It was panicking.
Well, the strategy worked of like, if we hit enough threes, we'll win. Well, they didn't hit enough threes. Like, there was a couple of quarters over the course of this series.
They went the John Starks method, Greeno.
they hit sub 20 points in a quarter multiple times, and you're like, we're never going to win an NBA championship if you're hitting multiple sub. Like they were up.
I'll just keep shooting till I get them. Doesn't really work out.
Well, the Golden State Warriors went on a 20. Boston were up early in today's game. Golden State Warriors went on a 22-0 streak. How do you not score a fucking basket while the other team scores 22 points? Because they're taking low percentage shots. Like, don't keep throwing the fucking ball up from 40 feet out. Fucking just drive it in. Give it to Rob Williams. Give it to the middleman and just fucking take a high percentage shot, get some points on the board, break the momentum. But that happens so many times over the course of this series. But, end of the day, fucking Golden State are just an amazing team. So well done.
And Boston are a good defensive team, and there's no way a good defensive team I don't think you can call them a good defensive team anymore because you can't let 22 unanswered points in Game 6 happen.
Yeah, well,
you can
let those points in, but you got to score at least a fucking point yourself.
Oh, you got to get a stop at some point.
How hopeless are you're not fucking getting 1 point.
Yeah.
Like, surely I could fucking throw a ball up and, like, hopefully hit the rim. Like,
well, you know what you do? You get someone to go off 2 steps into the key and just try to fucking run into someone and launch it up there and get to the line at least.
Get a fucking free throw.
Get to the fucking line. Yeah.
22 straight points is unheard of. Like,
it's nuts. Nice, Gary. Anyway, thanks, Boston, for the memories.
You doing a show tomorrow, sir? Plugs?
Plugs. I don't know if I'm doing one tomorrow or not. I don't know. It's just the time issue. So we'll see. I don't know. I can't commit, unfortunately. But yeah, time is a ticking, Greeno. It's a ticking, tick. Time. I don't have time. Do you have time? How much time do we have? We got any time? How are we going for time?
We had 2 hours to waste tonight. That's about as much time as I have for the week, and then I'm back to business as soon as we log off.
Really? You're going back to work, Greeno?
Oh, I go to bed, but
back to business. But that's where the business happens, Greeno. Yeah, in the bed.
That's it. When I'm down in my socks. That's why they call it business.
Are they doing anything lately? The Concords? Are they still around?
Man. Jermaine's doing TV shows and stuff and kicking ass.
Solo.
And what's his name? Brett went in. He's doing like an actual legit music kind of career.
Oh, okay. Is he any good?
He's a pretty talented musician, but he's doing his own shit.
Okay.
But nothing overly successful. He's touring and whatnot. So
okay. Good luck to him.
Every time I use sticky tape, I can't help but sing some Concords.
Sticky tape. Every time you say sticky tape, I think of sticky tape and Martin Malloy, Greeno.
Oh, really? No, I think of
sellotape.
Sellotape, Mr. Sellotape. That's a good one. Yeah. No, I always think of like brown paper, white paper.
Put it
stick it together with the tape. Tape of love.
The tape of
sticky stuff.
Nice, Gary.
Concord, so good. Let's get out of here.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Been some chatters in the chat tonight. It's good to see.
It is.
Yeah, the Blockheads Moons will be back next week, I guess, probably. Maybe.
And the Russian bots. We'll see you next week.
Russian bots. Bye.
Bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else